Mastercard is tightening its requirements for banks that process payments for sellers of adult content. Banks will now have to confirm that sellers require clear, unambiguous consent when it comes to adult content and ensure websites document the age and verify the identity of anyone depicted in pictures and videos. That move by the credit card giant comes after its decision late last year that it would no longer allow its cards to be used on Pornhub.com.
You know, there's been, in the last couple of years, there has been a blatant attack on the Constitution. And there are those who have been violating constitutional rights, federal and state regulation laws, consumer laws, and no one has been held accountable for it. You know, we've discussed before stories on how banking institutions have been closing out people's account because of the type of job they're doing, or what political group, what side of the aisle that they vote on, that their accounts have been closed, which is basically, that it's totally against the law. But most of these companies will say, well, it's not a help to our bottom line. What bottom line are you talking about? Because if you're sitting there getting this information, somebody is feeding you this information. And that is none of your business. Unless they are violating some law, if they're a drug dealer, or gone into trafficking, if they're a trafficker, if they're basically doing something that, in the black market, or any other crime that would be to the point that, that they could not open or have a bank account. Even a criminal who has come out of jail can have a bank account. Think about that for a minute. Unless, the bank they're doing business through the bank, like money laundering and something to that nature, banks shouldn't notice who is on their accounts. If they pass their standard checks, their credit checks and stuff like that, it should not be an issue. But the Free Speech Coalition, and we've discussed about them before, has put out a report, a very scary report. And before we start, read this out. Thank you for those who have subscribed, like, share, clicking on this video. We really do appreciate it. We're on our way to 700. We're getting close. Thank you very much for being there. We're into April already. So let's get there. Okay? Hopefully today's the day that I earn your subscription. Hopefully maybe this will also convince you to be with us as far as a subscriber, because these are some of the things the mainstream media will not pick up. Understand this. This is stuff they won't touch because it doesn't fall into their category. But if this was 30, 40 years ago, this will be right on the front page of the New York Times. FSC reports reveals widespread financial discrimination against the adult industry. And this is out of XBiz. Free Speech Coalition has released a new report concerning financial discrimination against the adult industry. The report reveals that an overwhelming majority of the adult industry workers have lost a bank account or financial tool due to their source of income. The report follows a study conducted by FSC and the Sex Worker CEO, an education platform for sex workers, between December 2022 and March of 2023. Over 400 members of the adult industry took part in the survey. Financial discrimination in the adult industry documents the broad scope of the discrimination faced by performers, content creators, professionals, and business executives in the adult industry. According to the report, discrimination is widespread. 62% have lost or been denied a bank account due to their work in the adult industry. More than 40% have lost an account or financial tool in the past alone. It is a major drag on the business. Nearly half of the adult business, 48%, rated financial discrimination as their top challenge to revenue. It makes performers vulnerable. 1 in 3 performers have either been outed as an adult worker to their financial institutions by those who wish to harm them, or have faced extortive threats to do so. And this is and this last part of it. Where's this coming from? Where is this coming from? Who is outing them? And who's on top of that list is NOSC. The rampant financial discrimination against the adult industry is devastating to our business works, said FSC Director of Public Affairs Mike Stable. From predatory fees to unwarranted fund seizures, financial institutions are exploiting labor of those working in the industry. The report shines a light on a shameful practice. Those in the adult industry regularly report having accounts closed, with funds sometimes seized, despite their legal source of income, from mainstream banks and credit card networks to financial tools like PayPal and Venmo financial services. Discrimination creates a constant instability for workers and businesses, forcing them to pay extraordinary fees or rely on third parties to manage their income. And the thing is, it's not only in the adult industry. This is in politics. This is also in the comic book industry. We've seen this in the comic, as far as the indie comics. We've seen this on some of the content creators out of YouTube, and sites like Parler and Gab and a couple of others, where companies just don't want to do business with them. Well, here's a little splash of reality. There's going to be a point where these companies will be, and I'm going to tell you, violently sued. Those numbers alone shows you how much discrimination is in this business. There is nothing illegal of what these people are doing. Nothing illegal. If a criminal who has been found guilty, sent to prison, comes out of prison, gets a job, he's allowed to get a bank account. He's allowed to have one. The only time I think they deny it is if he's in the money laundering, or he's a drug kingpin cartel type situations. And I think that basically, but that's a fine line there as well. There are those out there who basically think that they are the arbiters of truth, justice, but it's not the American way. Because it is to the situation is that anyone can get a bank account, and put their money in the account. My money is good as anyone else's. It is the same money. Whether I'm doing it by the adult industry, making my own comic book, or maybe I'm there to basically create a group together to speak my piece when it comes to when things are happening in government. What I believe on that. Freedom of speech. That's in our God-given rights in the Constitution. It's about time that someone steps up in our government, especially in the FDIC and all these other regulators, and say, no more. Yes, exactly, Mr. J. How angry he is because he's denied a... No, I'm kidding. He's not denied a bank account. He has his own little bank account. Right? Right. But the thing about it is that people are denied on a constant basis. People are shut down. We talked about what Wells Fargo did. Wells Fargo at one point welcomed the adult industry. And then suddenly, in the last year, now they're kicking people out on there. The biggest notorious bank that is kicked people out has been Chase. You know, they took out the leader of the Proud Boys, closed his account. Why? Because you don't like the Proud Boys? That is basically, that's wrong. And they say, well, it's going to hurt my bottom line. How is it going to hurt your bottom line? Nobody knows he has a bank account there unless you go research it out. The people that are doing researching it out, they're violating the person's constitutional rights and privacy. There are Privacy Act rules. If someone's going around looking for basically people's bank accounts, I'd focus on them. Where are they getting their money to basically do this? And I'm talking about you, morality and media. You've been doing this for decades. And we know your bottom line to the situation. We know what you want. You want to control freedom of speech in the United States and tell people you are the next, basically, group of Hays coders on there. Yes, that's right. It was religion that was part of the Hays Code. Morality and media are groups of people that are from the religious radical right. And probably some from the left as well. But I think it's mostly on the right. And, we're seeing this every day. Every day we're seeing more and more. You change your name, but you're still the same old group. You're the same old group that went out and wanted to sue a comedian for some things he said. Remember that. Look up George Carlin, the George Carlin lawsuit on there. And how they sued a radio station for just playing the 5 deadly words. Now, the thing about it is, okay, the FCC can go in there, don't play it again. But they had to freaking slam the radio station for playing it. Guess what? They stopped the porn industry. They're going to go after the comedians next. Trust me on this. This ain't over. They want to get rid of the Miller's test. Any politician out there, focus on the politicians that want to get rid of the Miller's test. And it's not only the radical Christian rights, it's also the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon religion. They want to do this as well. So tell me in the comment lines below your thoughts about this. Have you experienced these situations? You content creators out there, and I know there's a couple of you that do watch, click on this video. Tell me your issues when it comes to your banking accounts. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Once again, thank you for clicking on this video. Please do share it. It's very important that videos like this get across because more and more people will hear about this. And like I said again, this does not come across on the mainstream media. This is hidden. So please do pass it on, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.